Good morning of you. In previous class we have started the chapter federalism. Okay, federalism. In that class we have studied about what is federalism and unitary form of government. We have also studied the differentiation between federal government and unitary form of government. Okay, now what is federalism? Federalism is a form of government, is a system of government in which the power is divided between central government and the various constituent unit of the country. Okay. For example, central government, state government, and Panchayati Raj. Now, if we talk about unitary form of government, then unitary form of government is a government in which only one level of government, such as state government or union government. All these things we have studied in the previous class. Now, yesterday I asked a question that India is a federal country or a unitary country. So about this I want to say that it was a tricky question. India is neither a federal country nor a unitary country. India is a quasi-federal country. The spelling of quasi is Quasi, quasi-federal country. The meaning of quasi is almost. It means India is almost a federal country. Because in our constitution there is nothing described about federal. The word federal is not written in our constitution. Okay, and at the time of emergency, if you talk about at the time of emergency, all the power goes in the hand of central. That's why we call it as a quasi-federal. It is not a fully federal country, a fully federal country government. That is why India is a quasi-federal country. Okay. Now, we have also studied about the differentiation between federalism and the unitary form of government. Now, next one we are going to study, that is key feature of federalism. Okay. Now, key features. The key feature of federalism. What are the most essential things for a country to become a federal country? Okay. What are the most essential things to be a federal country? So in our NCERT book it has written 7 factors. There are 7 factors, 7 features to be a federal country. The first one is that a federal country must have 2 or more level of government. A federal country must have 2 or more level of government. If we talk about India is having central government, state government, and Panchayati Raj government. It means we have 3 level of government, 3 tiers of government. Okay, state, central, state, and Panchayati Raj. It is more than 2. Okay, if a country is having central and a state also, then also it will be called as a federal country. But the most important thing over here is that this level of country should be like in a format that the central government will give some power to the state government and these will give some power to the other constituent. Okay, then it means that the central government will share some power with the other constituent form of government. Then this feature will called as a federal form of government. Okay. Now the second one, different level of government govern the same citizen. Different level of government govern the same citizens. I would like to give the example of India only. Okay. India, suppose we are residing in Bihar or Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so we call it as a Bihari people. or a UP people. Okay, but we are under the state government also, but actually we are called as a Indian people, and different level of government govern the same citizen. We are under the some panchayat also. Suppose like that, our school RM public school is under the Majha panchayat. Okay, and this Majha panchayat is under the Bihar state, and Bihar state is in the Indian government. Okay, now different level of government govern the same citizen. There are different government, but they are governing the same citizens. Nitish Kumar is ruling over Bihar. He is governing us, and PM Modi is also governing us. Okay, the different level of government govern the same citizens. This is the second feature of federalism. Okay, now the jurisdiction of level of government is specified in the constitution. Jurisdiction. This is the important word. What do you mean by the jurisdiction? In Hindi we call it as the Adhikar Kshetra, authorized area. It is called as a authorized area. One day my father was talking, as you all know, my father was an inspector. One day my father was talking to a person, and he was saying that that this area comes under my jurisdiction area. I can't understand what is this jurisdiction. After when their talk was over, I went to my father and I asked him that, Papa, you were saying lots of time you repeats that this area comes under your jurisdiction area. What is that? I can't understand this jurisdiction. Then he told me that this is the control area. It comes under my Thana area. That is why the word jurisdiction means Adhikar Kshetra, authorized area. Okay, the jurisdiction of level of government is specified in the constitution. In constitution, all the jurisdiction, state government has some jurisdiction area. Okay, Panchayat Raj has some jurisdiction area, and Indian government has also some jurisdiction area. It is all specified in our constitution. Suppose I would like to give you an example. Suppose take an example of passport. Many people in our class also, and in RM public also, this is area where people like to go and work in abroad. To work in abroad, they must need a passport. Suppose passport. To get a passport, it is essential to be verified by the Union government, as it is a part of Ministry of External Affairs. So it should be verified by the Union government. The passport should be verified by the Union government. But Union government send this letter to the state government that this people, Falna ABC, resides in your states or in your panchayat. When they verify it, then it goes to the Union government, and then they sign it over there and made a passport for you. So this type of jurisdiction of level of government is specified in the constitution. Each level of government has its own jurisdiction area. Okay. Now, next point is change in the constitution can be made by consent of each level. Now, federal form of government cannot be changed easily. The federal form cannot be changed easily. It should need 2/3 majority in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And after that also, if they want to change the federal form, the government wants to change the federal form of government, then there should be the consent of each level. Consent, what is the meaning of consent? सहमति, in Hindi we call it as a सहमति. Each level की सहमति चाहिए. Suppose in India only we have 29 states. We have 29 states. And if some changes, if there should be changes, then first of all, that changes must be presented in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and it should be passed with 2/3 majority. And after that, it should be passed by at least half, more than half of the each level. Suppose 29 states are there, then 15 states should give its majority response to change that federal form of government. Then only it could pass. Now, understood? Change in the constitution can be made by the consent of each level. It means if we want to change some, if I want to make some changes in the federal form of government, then it is not an easy task. We need two-third majority in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and about 50% majority in the each level of government. Got it? Next, fifth point. Sources of revenue of each level of government are specified in the constitution. Okay? Sources of revenue of each level of government are specified in the constitution. Okay? It means that each government has its own power and source of revenue. Suppose IT department, income tax department, these are the source of income for the central government. These are the source of income for central government, whereas agriculture, forest, these are the department where the state earn their revenue. Then why this key feature is necessary? This feature, source of revenue, this source of revenue is very necessary. Why it is necessary? Because this source of income, this source of revenue, suppose I am Anup Upadhyay, okay, your SST teacher, okay. Suppose in my family I want to upgrade myself. So to upgrade myself, at the age of 25 I was not earning anything, but right now at the age of 27, 28 I started earning money. Okay, so right now I have upgraded a lot for my family, and I can do whatever I want for my family. So same like that over here, the source of revenue of each level. Suppose a state having extra income, a state is having their own income from the agriculture department, they are getting income. It means they are financially autonomous. They are not dependent on anyone. If central government can if they want to help the state government, they can help, but the state government have their own income through this different types, which has been mentioned in constitution. Okay, the source of revenue of each level of government are specified in the constitution. That state government could earn from this portion, like central government can earn from IT department, from income tax department. Different departments are there through which the central government can earn, and state government can also earn from the agriculture, from many things they can earn. We will study later. Okay, the source of revenue of each level of government make them financially autonomous, that they are not interdependent on each other. Next, sixth point, court have the power to interpret. Okay, now if any problem occurs between the state government and the central government, then court have the power to intervene in their matter. Okay, if you talk about that, state government, the apex court in the state government is the state court. High court. The apex court, the highest court in the state level, is the high court. But in the central court, but in the central level, it is the Supreme Court. Then they can intervene in the matter where they are thinking that their federal power is lessening. The court has the power to interpret in between them. Okay. Suppose central government and state government has passed such a law which is going to harm people, which is going to harm the citizens, then that people can file a PIL, public interest litigation, and through this PIL they will get help from the court. Then at that time court can intervene in the matter. See my point? So court plays an important role in all the things, and here also in the federal structure also, to maintain the federal structure also, court can intervene in the power. Okay, now the last point is an ideal federalism. An ideal form of ideal federalism has two aspects. What is the meaning of aspects? Mukhra. Okay, an ideal federalism has two aspects. The first one is mutual trust and the second one is agreement to live together. An ideal, it is a 1 mark question also. An ideal federalism, what are the two aspects of federalism? The two aspects of federalism are mutual trust and agreement to live together. Mutual trust, it means that the state and the central government, both are trusting each other. आपसी सहमति है, विश्वास है दोनों पर कि हम एक साथ जो है चल सकते हैं, है कि नहीं है? म्यूचुअल ट्रस्ट एंड एग्रीमेंट टू लिव टुगेदर, और साथ ही साथ एग्रीमेंट होना चाहिए कि हम लोग एक साथ आपस में चलेंगे. ठीक है? An ideal federalism has two aspects: mutual trust and agreement to live together. These are all the 7 key features of federalism. These are the necessary things to make a country federalism, to the basic structure of a federal country. Okay. Now I would like to revise one more time. The first key feature of federalism is 2 or more level of government. Every federal country is necessary that they are having 2 or more than 2 level of government. Example, central government, state government, and the Panchayati Raj. Okay. Now, different level of second key feature is different level of government will govern the same citizens. Suppose people of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, they are telling that I am a Bihari people, I am a Uttar Pradesh people, UP people, but they are also governed by the central government. They are under the Indian government. Okay. The jurisdiction of the level of government is specified in the constitution. Okay. Now the jurisdiction of the level of government is specified in the constitution, that this is the jurisdiction area under which you come. This is the category under which panchayat, under which state you come. This is the jurisdiction area under which you come. That this is the jurisdiction of level of government is specified in the constitution. Now fourth one, changes in the constitution can be made by the consent of each level. If the federal structure, if the central government or the union government or the state government are ready to change the federal structure, then it can be done only by the consent of each level. It is a very big process. In Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, they need about 2/3 of majority, and there must be the consent of more than 50% of the each levels. Suppose in India there are 29 states, then it must needed approx 15 states should ready. Right now 30 states. 29, at least 15 states should ready for this proposal. Okay, the source of revenue of each level of government are specified in the constitution, that each level have their own income. The state government get some earning from different departments. Court have the power to, in all these matters, court have the power to interpret in between. And the last 7th point, an ideal federalism has two aspects: mutual trust and agreement to live together. Okay, what you have to do now, you have to learn all these 7 points. It is a very important topic, key feature of federalism, and I hope that this will come in exam definitely. So you have to learn it by heart. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.